Peace, everyone. We're going to talk about the case of Wali Bey. Wali Bey. Wali Bey. Wali Bey was an individual, young man, lifelong resident of Newark, New Jersey, who was brutally murdered by police. The family doesn't have any answers. The public doesn't have any answers. But the family continues to wait on the politicians and the Attorney General's office to sit on their hands, not release the video. And he was killed by law enforcement. He was unarmed. Where is Ben Crump? Where is the outcry of the activists of the Democratic Party? He was an unarmed man killed by police. Where is the Mysons? Where's the Tamika Mallorys? Where's everybody hooting and hollering except the family and the community, the loved ones, the local community? No one's talking about this case. Is it a cover-up? Is it a cover-up? This man was brutally murdered in the city of Newark by the police on January 19th. They know the officer who killed him, so we need to ask was it a cover-up? We're going to take a deep dive into the case, and we'll discuss it going forward, and you'll decide what's going on.
What have you done for me lately? It's Coons. What have y'all done for us lately? And if there's no answer, the only thing we owe them.
Many times we see cases that happen in our community and they get dealt with swiftly before they get national attention. This particular case about Wali Bey is not being dealt with swiftly. The family has answers. The public, the local public don't know anything. Nobody seems to give the family any information regarding this case. On January 19th, 2026, in Newark, New Jersey, what began as a police surveillance operation ended in fatal gunfire. A 42-year-old man named Wali Bey was shot and killed. The officer who fired his weapon has been publicly identified. As the community continues to struggle with understanding on why this young man was killed. Newark Police, the Mayor's office, the State Attorney General's office has not given the family any answers. Whether the case has been presented to the grand jury or not, no information is being given. The family doesn't know what's going on. They haven't released the footage privately or publicly to the family. So what we know about the case. According to the official statements released by the Attorney General's office, shortly after 1 p.m. on January 19th, Newark police officers, both plainclothes and uniformed, were conducting surveillance near Ross Street and Evergreen Avenue. During the operation, an encounter occurred. An officer discharged his firearm. 2 civilians were struck. Both were transported to University Hospital. Wali Bey was pronounced dead shortly after 2 p.m. Another individual survived and was later released. No officers were injured in the shooting, and the Newark police identified the officer as Nasheed Reynolds. This is what officials have confirmed. From what the public is saying and witnesses are saying, is that these plainclothes officers had on masks. This has also been problematic. Some family accounts allege that these officers were wearing masks. Like I said, family members have asked publicly, if someone approaches your vehicle wearing a mask and not clearly in uniform, how do you know they are police? That is not speculation. That is perception. Questions that arise at the heart of this case. To be clear, officials have not publicly confirmed the mask. This is why the family, the public, is asking for the footage to be released. Because if civilians do not clearly recognize law enforcement, that changes how the moments are understood. Now let's move into an uncomfortable space. Here is what has not been publicly clarified. Were officers clearly identifiable before shots were fired? Were verbal commands issued clearly and audible? Was body camera worn before footage? All Newark police supposed to wear body cam or cameras within their car. How many shots were fired? What was the positioning of the vehicle at the time of the gunfire? Was there an attempt to flee? Was a weapon involved? No weapon was recovered at the scene, according to witnesses and families' accounts. After the shooting, there's been many candlelight vigils, balloon releases, so forth and so on, and nobody has any information. Under New Jersey law, every fatal shooting is investigated by the Attorney General's office. Once the investigation concludes, the evidence must be presented to a grand jury. The grand jury determines whether the charges are warranted. But here's the reality. Grand jury proceedings are confidential. The public does not hear testimony. The public does not see evidence in real time. The public does not participate. So while the legal system moves forward, the public waits information. Information is silent, and silence often breeds suspicion. Keep in mind, folks, this happened January 19th, 2026. Legally, deadly force is evaluated under what court calls an objective reasonable standard. The question is not whether an officer was perfect. The question is whether a reasonable officer in the same situation would believe deadly force was necessary to prevent serious harm. That evaluation depends entirely on facts. What the officer saw, what the officer heard, what the officer perceived. What actions have taken within seconds, which brings us back to the unanswered questions. What exactly did the officer perceive in that moment? The mask. Let's confront it directly. Why did the officers in plain clothes have on masks? Why did they have masks? When we know nationally this has been an outcry with ICE into these cities wearing masks, and even the state of New Jersey is trying to get the officers to stop wearing masks. So why was Newark Police wearing masks and put plain clothes, not identifying themselves? What are the certain circumstances behind this unwarranted death, murder?
That's right.
The case also raises larger concerns: the use of plainclothes officers in residential areas, transparency standards in fatal police cases, community trust in state-led investigations. Where we stand as of right now, as you guys can see, this is the balloon release for Wali Bey. Communities, fresh community activists is out there. No answers is being given to the family. The family deserves answers. As we continue to monitor the case, you guys, we need to focus on why these plain officers wore masks and why they have not released the video. The family deserves the video to be released. This is the case of Wali Bey. Remember, you guys, I just wanted to do a short video on this, short conversation on it. Remember, like, share, subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel. This is a sad situation. But like I said, where's the national outcry for this case? This was a police murder. They murdered Wali Bey. The family deserves justice. The community deserves justice. Remember, the best way to support the channel is to like, share, subscribe. Take care. Until next time.
What have you done for me lately? It's coons. What have y'all done for us lately? And if there's no answer, the only thing we owe them